Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the What's the Big Deal podcast, where we don't make a big deal about one thing, we make a big deal about everything. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you all for listening, for watching, whatever you're doing. Just thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you're here. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to make it a little bit more personal. So if you're watching this right now, I purposely made the camera a little bit closer to me so that it can kind of seem like we're like having an actual conversation. Yeah, and if you're listening, again, just thank you for putting this on in your car or on a speaker, wherever you are right now. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, today I kind of wanted to talk about letting people go. I don't really know what it is, but man, I just really feel like we need to have a conversation about this. Um, I've had a lot of very personal experiences happen when it comes to letting people go. Um, like a lot. I feel like more than the normal person, I just really feel like the devil has really tried purposefully to make me feel alone this many times. And I don't know why, but someday I will. I am praying that. I am speaking that out right now. I'm going to share a few stories, so just stick with me. I kind of wanted to share a little bit of some of my own personal experiences. Because, again, I want to be as real as possible with you guys. And if you don't like vulnerability, you're going to learn to love it if you're here, because I love being vulnerable. I like letting people know that they're not alone in what they're going through, because I know how hard it is to not have people who are vulnerable around me. Like, I've been friends with a lot of people who aren't comfortable with my kind of vulnerability. So, the first experience I wanted to talk about was this girl I actually recently how long ago was this? It was like back in August, I think, was the last time that we talked. So it's now end of February. August, September, October, November, December. Dang, like 6 months ago. That's insane. Um, but we were friends for like 4 to 5 years. And I did not realize how badly this girl would manipulate me and gaslight me. She was such a narcissist towards me. And again, I didn't realize it until a few years after us being friends. She was such a good friend to me. Like, she dealt with anxiety. She was the first person that actually I could relate to on anxiety and depression and ED. Like, she was the first person that I could actually relate to, so we got close so quickly. She The first time that I experienced this, I was very confused. She ignored me for a whole month. Literally just cut me off completely, and I had no idea why. And it affected me so badly because it was like no closure. And anybody who knows and has been through the no closure thing, oh my gosh, it's so horrible. Literally, I'm not somebody who can take that. Obviously, like, I've learned. There was another friendship experience that I had no closure with for over a year. Um, and that was terrible too. I just can't do the no closure thing. It's so hard for me. Obviously, again, I've learned how to deal with it because people are people. But man, it was so hard to work through. But yeah, she cut me off, and then I realized that I kept apologizing because, again, I thought it was me. I literally thought it was me. This girl has gone through so much. Like, she went through so much. Her past is so I don't wish it on anybody. And a reason why I had stayed, and I kept messaging her, apologizing, saying, "I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm here for you still. I know that we're gonna work through this, and I'm still here for you, even if you're gonna ignore me." I was trying to be a good, sensitive friend because she needed somebody who loved her and appreciated her regardless of what was happening. So after that, we ended up becoming best friends again, and then a year later, it happened again. And the first time that this all happened, she said something to me that literally sticks with me every single day. I literally think about it every single day. She told me, "You're right, everybody does leave you because of your anxiety." It literally, ever since then, I've had the hardest time with letting people go. It sticks with me and it replays through my mind every single day. Every time somebody leaves me or ditches me or ignores me, anytime somebody does something like that, doesn't matter who, that literally replays through my head and I will never forget it. Um so yeah, she told me that the first time and I still forgave her. I still apologized to her. I still did all this stuff. And then yeah, she did it again. And then again, I was apologizing, trying to be sensitive, telling her I'm still her friend, I'm still here because again, I wanted to be somebody who was there for her. And then she after that time, I can't remember. I think it was she did it 3 times. Every single year for 3 years. She did it over and over again. After the 3rd time though, it stopped because I knew that she was growing as a person. I knew that she knew that it wasn't okay. I think that after the 3rd year, that was the first time that she actually like apologized to me. And it felt relieving because I was like, okay, so cool, she sees what she did. So after the 3rd time, I was like, okay, I think this is done. This is over with. No, guys. After my breakup, I don't think I've ever had somebody say so many things to me. In the beginning, she was absolutely amazing. This also all just threw me off so much though because we were literally like best friends. Like again, best friends does not even cover it. Like we were literally inseparable. We were best friends. So I think letting her go was so hard for me. This was probably the second hardest thing I've ever had to do for me in my life. Um But again, yeah, so that happened after the breakup. She was amazing. She helped me through so much. She would encourage me. But I realized like after like a few weeks, I was still in like my terrible mental state because I was grieving somebody I was going to marry. It was terrible. Literally, if this girl didn't get attention for 5 minutes, she would quite literally she would gossip about me. She would gossip about me. She gossiped about me our whole friendship, our entire friendship, she would gossip about me. And I didn't know until a few years after that. So she would do all that. After the breakup happened, she would gossip about me. And it got to a point where in August, at the end of August, she talked to somebody about something incredibly serious that was just like the most disgusting rumor I've ever heard in my life. Found out that she talked to somebody about that and then spread other stuff about me behind my back. And I was so done. So done. I tried so many times for so many years. I was just so done. So I tried to talk to her about it and I wanted to meet up with her about it. And she flipped it on me, made me the bad guy, and then she claimed to be the victim and told me some really terrible, horrible things that, again, still stick with me to this day. Every single day I think about it. And she was like, "You're not going to fight for a friendship?" No, I'm not going to fight for a friendship if you keep manipulating me and gaslighting me, and you've done this over and over and over again. So many times that I can't even count anymore. So I had to let her go. And I want to tell you right now that it is okay to set a boundary. It is okay. Boundaries are not bad. My boundary personally was just letting her go completely because she did not affect my life well, especially towards the end of our friendship. She didn't. And it's okay. That's okay. Boundaries are okay. My next experience that I want to talk about um is my breakup. I don't want to talk too much about it because honestly, I want to make a whole episode on it. Um but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of letting go of him. For those of you who don't know me, I was engaged to be married last May of 2024. I was going to get married in August. So he ended things 2 months before we were going to get married. I had a few days to prepare mentally because I think I knew in my gut, in my spirit, that it was going to end. I could tell that he really wasn't on the same page, but I didn't actually know because he wouldn't tell me. Even though I would ask multiple times, he wouldn't actually tell me what was going on in his head. So I was in a very unsure situation when we actually broke up. I I can't even explain to you the grace and the peace that I felt when I just said, "Okay." I literally he didn't actually say like I'm breaking up with you. He just kept saying, "Oh, I've made up my mind. I've made up my mind," and I knew what that meant, obviously. So after he said that, I just said, honestly, I didn't really know what to say, but I did tell him like, "Okay, I want you to know. I don't want you to doubt." That is what I told him. I looked at him and I said, "I want you to know, and I don't want you to doubt." It gave me a lot of peace letting him go. I don't want to say that it was easy to let him go because it wasn't, but you can't make somebody stay. Regardless if it's a friendship or if it's a relationship, you cannot ever make somebody stay. They have to choose themselves to stay or go. So, after dealing with all these friendship breakups that I've had, I really think that they were preparing me for this, for that breakup, my engagement breakup. I really, really do think that. I just want you guys to know that, oh my gosh, I might cry. I want you guys to know that it is not easy letting anybody go. Regardless of who they are or how much they mean to you, it is going to be difficult. Especially if you pour out so much time and effort into that person, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. But what it comes down to is you need to remember your worth. You need to remember how much you are worth. And letting people go can really wreck how you feel about yourself. I think that's another reason why I've struggled so much about myself and who I am. I base so much of myself on if people like me or not. Like, how much do they like me? Do they hate me? Like, all this stuff. I base so much of myself on how people perceive me, and I'm still learning how to not do that because it's not healthy. Um, but man, your worth is so much more than what people think about you and how people perceive you. And if those people and if that person does not treat you how you deserve, let them go. If those people and if that person treat you badly, mentally affect you, and once it starts physically affecting you, no. Nope, nope. Out, out. Make room for the new. Make room for the new girl because you don't deserve that. And I cannot stress this enough. You do not deserve that. You deserve everything. You deserve to be loved deeply. And you deserve to be loved truly by people and that somebody. And if you've been telling yourself that you don't, that thought and that thing that you've been speaking over yourself is such a stupid, terrible lie that I want you to stop telling yourself. You need to start speaking life into yourself. Because again, you are worth so much more than you think. So much more. I came across this theory that I kind of wanted to tell you guys. But I've been listening to this podcast by Mel Robbins, I think is what her name is. She's awesome. She's very straightforward and I freaking love that. Um but she came up with this theory called the let them theory. And I was listening to this podcast episode and I was like, "Dang, okay." Like I never thought of it like this. But when somebody is hurting you, when somebody is talking about you, hurting you, telling you who you are, what you're not, if somebody's leaving you, somebody broke up with you, anything, literally anything negative, just let them. Let them. Because you know what that's doing? That is showing their true colors. That is showing their true colors. You don't want somebody who's gonna hurt you. Regardless, again, of how much you've poured into them, just let them. Make room for the new. Let them. It's just gonna show you more of who they are if you just let them do whatever they want to do. You cannot control. You cannot control what people say or do. You will never be able to control what people say or do. You will never be able to control how people feel about you, how people perceive you. So just let them. Just let them. You know, you're being more true to yourself when you actually realize that that person and those people are not for you by letting them go. You're being more true to yourself. Okay? Stop trying to gaslight and manipulate yourself saying, "Yeah, but they this and this." Like, no. Again, you deserve more. You really do deserve more. Give yourself some grace and credit. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Trust your spirit. Trust your heart. For those of you who are currently watching this video, you'll notice that it's a lot darker, because it is. Unfortunately, my microphone decided to die in the middle of me talking, and I completely finished the entire video. And I didn't realize that halfway my microphones completely died. And they didn't charge for some reason, so I also am using another microphone. So anyways, sorry listeners, I had to say that really quick just so people knew. But yes, anyways, back to the real talk of letting people go. How somebody treats you, you will also know where you stand with that person. Like if they're rude and mock you and do little hints of joking around but being passive aggressive about it, just you'll know where you stand with somebody by how they treat you. Please, please, please do yourself a favor and put up a boundary with that person, or let them go, because you do not need that in your life. You don't want to be friends with somebody who constantly gossips about you, constantly terrorizes you in subtle ways. You don't want to be friends with somebody like that, because it's going to affect you mentally. And sometimes when you get to a really bad point mentally, it starts affecting you physically. And you do not want that. You are worth more than that. Like I've been saying, you are worth more than that. If you spend time trying to stay and trying to work through all the fighting and all the hurting that that person is causing you, you know what you're doing by staying and fighting and just going through this constant cycle? You are also hurting yourself. You are hurting yourself by doing this. And you're not ever going to get out of it unless you do something about it and you get out of that. You don't want to be that person that settles, especially if you're in a relationship. You don't want to be somebody that settles for that person. I've had experience with that, and I wish that I did something about it, but I didn't. And I just ended up hurting myself so much more. And that is not what you want. You don't want to settle for people who can't handle you. Okay? You want people who are going to constantly build you up, constantly build up your character and who you are. There's going to be some people who are going to be uncomfortable with you. And I'm saying that because when you grow as a person, everything changes. Especially when you grow as a person. Your personality can change, your circumstances can change, and there's going to be people, like I just said, who are going to get uncomfortable with your new comfortable. And you don't want people who are going to be uncomfortable with you. You don't want to surround yourself with people who are uncomfortable around you. There are going to be people who are going to leave your life once you enter a new season. And it's really hard to deal with that. It's really hard to let go of people, especially when when you're really close with those specific people. It is so incredibly hard to let go of them. But you are stopping yourself from greatness. You are stopping yourself from walking in the steps that the Lord has made for you and already set up for you. If you don't walk that path, you're keeping yourself from doing the things you are meant to do, if that makes any sense. By staying with people and surrounding yourself with people you know are not good for you, you are setting yourself up for failure. I'm going to say that right now. You are setting yourself up for failure by staying with those people. You are keeping yourself in the past. And I don't want that for you. Not ever. I don't want you to stay in your past. I don't want you to continue in that cycle that you are continuing to keep yourself in. It's time that you step out and you walk in the path in the steps that the Lord has made for you. And I know you're going to be like, that's so hard, it's so difficult. It is hard and it's difficult. That's what makes it good. Honestly, it makes you stronger. By stepping out of that comfort zone, you're just going to make yourself so much stronger and so much better as a person, regardless of how hard it is and regardless of how difficult it is. You need to let go of those people who are keeping you where you are at. I cannot stress that enough. You need to start walking in the steps and in the plan that God has for you. Stop keeping yourself in the cycle. Going back to talking about when people leave, when people get uncomfortable with your new comfortable, I want to tell you this right now, and my mom told me this a few months ago, especially like after, I think it might have been after my breakup, but I was really struggling that day, and I really just did not know how to feel or deal with my emotions. It was when all my friends were ditching me and being weird with me, and I didn't understand anything, but I just fell to my knees, and I just I could not deal with it anymore. My mom came in and she was talking to me, and she was like, Avery, those people are weak. They are uncomfortable with your new comfortable. She told me that those people were weak, that they were not strong enough to be around me because I was growing into the person that I was meant to be. And that really stuck with me. If those people leave you, if they choose to leave you, let them. Let them go. Because you don't want weak people in your life. You don't want weak people leading you. You want people who are going to stay. You want people who are going to choose you constantly every single day. You want people who are going to build you up. Like I said earlier, you want people who are going to build up your character, not tear you down. Because again, that's going to keep you where you are not meant to be. Maybe this is God's way, like of letting people go. When you let people go, I really do think that's God's way of making room for the new. He is making room for new people. He is making room for just you and him, because maybe you haven't been making time for him, and he wants to know you. He's trying to guide you. You need to let those people go. You need to let the past go, and you just need to let everything be. Make room for the new. Make room for the future that the Lord has laid out for you. Because his new is so much greater and so much more beautiful than your version of new. Your new keeps you where you're at. God's new, it'll bring you farther than you could ever imagine. And I'm still waiting for my new. I'm in my loneliness season. Man, I am in my loneliness season, and letting people go has been probably the most difficult thing in my life, especially in these last 9-10 months. It's been so difficult for me because well, I still did it. Even though I knew that I would be alone as heck, I still did it. And I'm still waiting, but I'm hopeful. I'm not completely alone. I still have a few people, and you need to focus on what you have. I have spent so much time focusing on what I don't have. It has ruined my mind. You need to start focusing, and I need to start focusing on what I do have. And that's Jesus, my family. I have two of my friends that I'm pretty close to, and I know that they're there for me. I have some leaders in my life that I go to and talk to, and that is good enough for me right now. I'm gonna have to deal with it until the Lord brings new people for me. I think that it's also like, especially hard to let people go and to let your current situation go when people don't reciprocate what you do for them. Like, when people don't reciprocate what I do for them, it makes me want to try harder and push harder to make them stay and keep them there. And I've realized, obviously, that is not a way to live. Like, I love so deeply, and it is so hard for me when people leave me, you know? Like, it's the most difficult thing ever of my life. But again, the Lord will bring new, He will guide you, and He will bring those people who do see you and do love you and do care about you and do want to listen to you and do want to love you well. You just have to be willing to wait. His timing, not yours. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. It is for me. His timing, not yours. Not ours. His. So when it comes to letting people go, remember that you are worth it, that you are enough, that you are loved, that you are cared for, that your new is coming, and those new people are coming. And the only way to do that is to let go of the past, let go of the people now who are hurting you. Put up those boundaries, because remember, it's okay to have boundaries. They're healthy. And if those people don't respect your boundaries, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Don't need those people in your life. They're just going to lead you astray. It's so much easier to pull people down to where you are. Well, okay. It's so much easier to have people pull you down to where they are than to pull people back up, or to pull people up where you are. It is so much easier to pull people down than pull people up. Don't surround yourself with people that are going to pull you down into the depths. Again, surround yourself with people who love and care, and that you know respect you and love you and see you and hear you. You are enough. You are worth it. You are cared for. You're an amazing, wonderful human being. Don't forget that. Alright, guys, that was the end of the episode. I really, really hope that you resonated with this, and I really, really hope that when you listen to this, it really encouraged you and made you feel less alone, because that is all that I aim for, all that I hope for. You are all amazing, worth it, and enough. I cannot say it enough. You are worth it, and you are enough. If you guys ever need anything, please, please, please feel free to reach out to me, DM me. If you related to any of the stories that I told, my experiences, please feel free to message me and ask me some questions about it. Or if you're struggling to make a decision about somebody who has hurt you, please feel free to, again, message me, email me. You can message me on the What's the Big Deal podcast Instagram. You can just message me in those DMs. I love you all so much. If you could like and subscribe, that would be awesome. If you could share this episode, that would be absolutely amazing. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for listening to this. I hope you have a good morning, day, night, whenever you're watching this. I just hope you have an amazing rest of your day or night, and I cannot wait to see you guys again in the next episode. Bye.